Still, 95% of people in the world have never tried VR.
But realistically, we're still pretty close to the beginning of what's going to be one of the great technological revolutions of all time, which is actually awesome. It means that right now we're in the most exciting place. Most of the good stuff is yet to come, and it's our community that's going to make that happen.
So far, the VR industry is worth around $7.17 billion, and as studies show, it'll top the $75 billion mark by 2021.
The next platform changes this. And the defining aspect of augmented and virtual reality is that they deliver this sense of presence, where that no other technology platform before has ever delivered. You feel like you're right there with another person or in another place. And
oh my God!
Hyper growth sector right now, and that's very much as it's getting started again, the second wave from the 80s and 90s and out of home. We're kind of going from 0 to 60, if you will, right now.
I've been tracking LBE growth since 2016, and at the moment we're aware of 2,200 locations that offer some form of VR as an attraction. Be the VR centers, or also known as the VR arcades. So these locations primarily offer room-scale VR booths as their attraction. Some of them might also offer motion treadmills or racing simulators.
okay,
where we had a big Omni tournament, 4 Omnis on a stage, 11 million viewers, 11 million people watch that. That's massive. And also with VR, there's more physical engagement, whether just standing VR or with the Omni, of course, it's to the extreme where people are physically running and gunning inside the game. But inherently, it's a bit more interesting than people just sitting behind a desk on a chair, just kind of moving their wrist a little bit. I mean, I think VR has opportunity to make esports actually more mainstream than it is today. I know esports is already big, but it's still kind of the biggest thing most people haven't heard of. And so I think with VR there's an opportunity to break through a bigger audience, make it more interesting for fans.
Oh, Beefy, what a play from this guy.
Wow, a flank from Captain Soda, grabbing 2!
Well, it's time to go. Pants, can he stop it before it starts? He does indeed.
Well, Goldman Sachs, for example, predicts it's going to be 267 million viewership by 2021, I think.
Investors and other people's perspective, VR is expected to be a big overnight success.
As of today, people have bought more than $100 million of content in the Oculus store.
There are things you can do in the headset that you can accomplish no other way. You see this power in games, in media, in business.
VR training is a use case that's seeing some early traction. And according to ABI research, it's a market that's going to grow to $6.3 billion by 2022.
83% of those trained in VR could then go into the lab setting with minimal guidance, whereas none of those traditionally trained.
Compared to traditional training methods, also VR is seeing a 230% improvement in performance. So you can watch it for yourself. Here is a video of two people that were trained only for one day on a surgery. The person on the left has been trained in traditional methods with text and videos, etc. And the person on the right with also VR. Now watch them both go. The student on the right is already more than halfway done. You can see he's doing everything by himself. Knows what tools to grab, knows exactly what to do. And he finishes in 6.5 minutes. And now the guy on the left is going to continue. He asks for help all along the way. You can see that he needs the trainer to come by and remind him, okay, this tool is for this other one. I'm not that mean. He will actually finish it. He will. But it takes him almost twice as long. There are superpowers that make this technology something that companies want to adopt, even though they don't really want to learn new hardware. And they're just some of it. We actually worked hard to create this list, right? Muscle memory is something that you get with VR training, same as unlimited redos. And with Gravity Sketch, we saw you get some powers like time efficiencies and instant collaboration. But the truth is that there are more. Companies also get to save money by not having to have employees travel from one place to another. Maybe one of my favorite things that I heard from employees is how much confidence they feel suddenly having the knowledge because they've done something before. And of course, we know that VR can let you live in someone else's shoes and understand what their jobs are like. That brings a lot of respect to the workforce. These are all the reasons why companies are adopting VR.
I tried to insert it incorrectly. It's actually not going to let me. The system knows what the correct way is, what the correct process is, and won't let me complete it incorrectly. So to correctly insert this, I'm actually going to need to rotate the silver membrane. Now I go to insert it. It is inserted. The next step to join two membranes inside the chamber is actually going to be to
full medium that can make the act of learning an unforgettable experience, which is the ultimate goal of education. Instead of just watching a lecture, students can be transported anywhere without having to leave the classroom. 85% of teachers agree that VR would have a positive effect on their students.
The body cavity and hiding the organs. It looks like you have a female, so it's going to be necessary to remove them in 4 steps. They could also be placed in the tray next to